Here's an affordable ultra-wide monitor from LG. Does the fact that it's a little bit cheaper mean that it's also garbage? Let's find out in this review. But first off, check out my unboxing of this monitor somewhere in the video, and you'll see what it comes with. It comes with like some cables, like a power adapter, and some paperwork. So check that out if you guys are interested. So moving right on to the appearance of this monitor, it's pretty good, even though it's not quite perfect. The display is matte, which is great. That means like the display is not glossy, which will show reflections and fingerprints a lot easier. So matte is great. Also, the bezels are pretty thin, which is also pretty great. But unfortunately, the back of the monitor and this little bitty part at the front of it is glossy, so that's unfortunate. Thankfully, you don't really touch that stuff too often, so that's not too big of an issue, but it does kind of suck. There's also Vasen mounts on it too, which is very cool. Another physical part of this monitor is the power brick, which is kind of unfortunate. Usually power bricks are like monitors. It's like a separate thing from the outlet, but on this one, it's like the power supply is combined on the outlet plug itself, which will definitely block other outlets around it. So be prepared for that whenever you plug this thing in. But beyond that, physically this thing is pretty much perfect, besides the height. The height of this monitor is a little bit of a well, it's short, kind of, to be honest with you. So measuring at about 10 inches tall, even though the monitor is 25 inches diagonal, it's a little bit short. Like my 16:9 1080p monitor is about 11 inches tall, and you kind of can notice that 1 inch difference. It's not terrible again, but you know, it's definitely noticeable. The 2560 by 1080 display that this monitor has is basically a 1080p display that's just wider, so that's pretty good. It still looks pretty good for 1080p. Obviously, it doesn't look as good as like some 1440p ultra-wide displays out there. It's also cheaper, just so you know, but it actually still looks pretty dang good for being just basically 1080p, so pretty cool. Another reason why this display also looks pretty good, it's not just the resolution, it's also the fact that it is IPS according to LG, and also according to LG it has an sRGB accuracy of around 99%, which is pretty crazy. It really does look damn beautiful. If you're doing picture editing, video editing, it looks pretty damn sexy, or just gaming, obviously. And actually talking about gaming, it has a 5 millisecond response time, which isn't as good as some monitors that have like a 1 millisecond response time, but 5 milliseconds is pretty damn good, especially for IPS. You really don't see that very often with IPS. So that's pretty damn awesome. It is only 60 hertz though, make sure you know that. I have only ever used 60 hertz, so it's not really a big deal for me. Like, I don't see much of a difference just because I'm not used to like 144 hertz. But if you're used to anything above 60 hertz, you might kind of not like that, but it's a cheaper monitor, so it's probably something you probably expect at the same time. And by the way, you know, I'm talking about how this picture just looks perfect and everything. If it does look a little bit messed up in some of my B-roll footage where I'm probably going to be playing like CSGO or maybe even Left 4 Dead, probably CSGO though, because that game's pretty great. This computer I'm using is still kind of jacked up. The CPU or something else is fucked up in this computer still. I got it working somewhat better, but just so you guys know, it's not related to the monitor at all. It's definitely my computer. I guarantee it because it happens with every monitor I use it on. So don't worry about that. This monitor actually does look very good. So, you know, there's a lot of benefits of having ultra-wide 21:9 aspect ratio. It's really freaking dope for like a whole assortment of things. One thing you've probably noticed during this video, and I have running in the background, is a 16:9 video. That's normal aspect ratio, you know, high definition, whatever, 1920 by 1080. So as you see, there's black bars on the side if you watch 16:9 video. So expect that. It's just something you expect. Also, another thing you kind of expect is some games are not compatible with 2560 by 1080 resolution. A lot of games, a lot of the new games in particular, will run at ultra-wide monitor resolutions, I guess. So it's not as big of a deal. Like, it works on CSGO and everything. So it does look pretty good whenever it is ultra-wide. Whenever it's not, it sucks. But I mean, it's not the end of the world in my opinion. And of course, multitasking is pretty great on this monitor. Having two windows side by side next to each other, it looks pretty damn great. And honestly, it kind of defeats the idea of having a second monitor, even though I still have a second monitor, but it's just because I already had that monitor. But like for normal users that really don't need a lot of window real estate, then ultra-wide monitors are totally going to suit your needs. Even if you're just using it side by side, it'll work great for pretty much all scenarios. So overall, I definitely love this ultra-wide monitor. I was also looking at like some 16:9 regular aspect ratio 1440p monitors. Some of them were still more expensive than this. This was like 180 whenever I bought it. There's some like 1440, like the cheapest 1440p monitors out there are like $250 at the time making this review. That's way more expensive than this, and the resolution isn't even that much more special in my opinion. You get a lot more real estate, at least usable real estate in this scenario. So I think ultra-wide is a way to go over 1440p at the moment, especially with this one at least. But that's just my opinion, I guess. Obviously, if you get a 1440p ultra-wide monitor, that's even cooler, but it's also way more expensive. Anyways, I hope this review was kind of helpful. Sorry that the lighting is terrible. My camera kept trying to pick up faces inside this damn video instead of my face, which was great. And also the lighting just isn't perfect because I still don't have good lighting, so sorry about that. But anyways, hope you guys liked this review. Like it if you did like it, dislike it if you thought it was crappy, even though you're dumb, you're wrong about that. It was pretty good. I don't know, whatever, you can do whatever you want. Anyway, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more crap like this in the future, and I'll see you crazy motherfuckers later. Peace out. And by the way, if you're interested, I think it was Walking Dead Season 2 gameplay or some shit like that. But anyways, I'll see you guys later. Peace out.